Hello, my name is Gabriela Esposito, and my persuasive speech is on graffiti as an art form. Almost everywhere you look, you will see the art form of graffiti in your city. Some people look at it as an act of rebellion and vandalism, while others see it as a beautiful form of art and expression. Have you ever stopped to think how beautiful it really is? Graffiti is as much of an art form as anything else, and I believe that it is something that should be celebrated, taught, and loved by people of a community. It's a way that society speaks its truth in a community setting. And according to author Hild Hain, graffiti is taken to be the product of an individual and an autonomous act of expression. As stated by the author, graffiti is an individual's form of speaking without words. It's like all other forms of art as an expression of your own self. And something viewed as rebellion and vandalism by some should, in my opinion, be viewed as a beautiful form of art. Graffiti has a long history, not only in our country, but throughout the world. And looking back on the history, the youth of today can learn from the good graffiti can do rather than what most people view as rebellion. Graffiti is demonstration of cultural change. And according to Julianne Marsh, graffiti is a vehicle of resistance. And graffiti has been used by people throughout different hardships in life, such as wars and government corruption. An example of graffiti used for good is during the time of the Berlin Wall, when it was up. The people used the wall to display the graffiti rallying against the division brought by the wall. This is how they used their voices without using any words. And graffiti can be used as a call for change in a society. In places around the world where pieces of the Berlin Wall are, you can still see the graffiti done by the people. This is kind of graffiti can be viewed as an artifact of the time, keeping alive this history. In more recent times, there is a graffiti artist that I love named Banksy, who is viewed to be one of the most revolutionary artists. Similar to protests during war, Banksy uses graffiti to bring awareness to current issues. And in 2010, he was said to be one of the most influential people in the world. He began his work in the late 1900s in England. One of his most notable works was done when he went to Israel, where, according to writer Will Ellsworth Jones, Banksy painted a series of images on the West Bank's concrete wall, part of the barrier built to try to stop suicide bombers. One of the images he put on the wall was of two kids that were spray painting a picture of a beach to show where the kids would rather be. And another image on the same wall was of a little boy climbing a ladder, trying to get over the wall. Banksy has gained so much fame throughout the world, and his art is for all the people in communities he does graffiti in. His graffiti shows the reality of many issues people don't want to face on a daily basis. Due to artists like Banksy, graffiti has become, according to Brittany Ellis and Bobby Gaffar, one of the most fast-growing artistic movements. This art form has become a very well-known form throughout communities and is something that should be implemented into art education. There was a case study done concerning a teacher named Sentok who teaches in a public school. He wanted to advocate for graffiti as something good and not as rebellious acts. In this community he lives in, there is something called tagging, which is graffiti done by the youth of the community. It is seen by the people of this community as vandalism and a rebellious act. Sentalk teaches graffiti because he wants the youth to be able to use it for good rather than bad. Teaching the difference between vandalism and art is to allow students to make connections between their art world and the art world of school, according to Lori Eldridge. I do believe that graffiti is an art form, but it should be controlled to specific places within a community. It is not something that should be done on private property and other private locations such as that. Communities should create spaces for artists to express their voices in a safe space. Social issues that face communities can be taught to their youth through art. Art is such a great outlet for you to share your voice without needing to speak. And educators and schools should teach graffiti as an art form, while also incorporating the issues facing their own communities. Public art throughout the community brings people to be aware of certain issues. In Banksy's case, it would even cause a worldwide awareness. And graffiti is a different form of art that should be embraced and taught to the youth of today. It should be something cultivated rather than put down. Graffiti is an art form, is such a beautiful and impactful style that captures raw emotions. Thank you.